ever thought of selling everything that you own and living full-time in an RV, traveling around the country? Well, that's what we did. We're Mike and Heather, and we're going to tell you a little bit of our story.
We're just getting started on our 4th year after retirement and living full-time in the RV now.
Well, we've technically been retired now for 6 years, isn't it?
April of 19.
April of 19.
Yeah, so
It's
a
been
little
a while.
over 5 years now.
Yeah.
Good, and that's even better than working. We love the retirement lifestyle.
Semi-retired, because we do sometimes do odd jobs. The way this didn't all just come about instantly. Like some people, we've talked to some people who just suddenly decide this is it, they sell everything and they move on and they start their life that way. But that's not really what happened with us. What happened was that,
Well, we weren't really sure what we were going to do, were we?
No, I think it started out that, when our children, our eldest daughter moved out many years ago out west, and then our son went to university and then moved out west as well.
And eventually all 3 kids were gone. The dog died.
Which was sad.
We had a big 4-bedroom house, and we said what?
We said
didn't need to stay there anymore.
No, it's too big for us and it's time to do something. And our kids all moved away. Our family still lived in the Windsor area, but all our children had flown the coop and gone where jobs took them and life, right?
Yep, that's life.
It is, and we feel really good the fact that our children were confident enough that they could go off and live their lives and not feel like they had to just stick around wherever we were. They're awesome people, and we're very proud of them all.
So we spent, ever since we got married, I think, we always said one day when we retire, we'll just move from place to place to place. Didn't know how, didn't know the details, but we thought we would do that. Move every few months. Right.
At one point we had talked about maybe, just going and renting a fully furnished apartment or Airbnb for 3 to 6 months at a time, go to a place, kind of enjoy it, and then move on and go somewhere else.
Far easier than carrying your own bed and couch and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
But then we started talking, that kind of morphed into tiny homes, and we thought, okay, tiny homes sound cool. But then...
But there aren't many of them out there.
No. And tiny homes are not as easy to move around all the time. And so we kind of ended up thinking RV, and that's how we came into the idea of RVing. Now, we've camped for years. We had tents, and then we did the pop-up trailer. And we had a pop-up trailer, a small one that we tented with our kids for 25 years almost, that we had that pop-up trailer. And so we knew that we loved camping, so we thought, okay, this could work. So what we did was slowly, over the course of about a year to 2 years, we started clearing out our stuff because we knew that our last child was about to move out of the house and the other ones were gone. So we started to just clean things up. And if you want to see some tips and hints on how to clear out a whole year, like a whole lifetime worth of house.
Oh yeah.
And go to basically nothing.
Yeah, we've done that a few times now.
We've got a lot of videos that we can share with you on that as well. And maybe we'll talk about that, some more of that in another video too.
And they're both at our own house and at a few other people's houses.
Oh yes.
Funny the way it works.
We are experienced at clearing out things.
Yeah, but we took our time, went through lots of garage sales, put stuff on Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. Almost none of it went in the trash. Got to hand it off to lots of different people, and that was nice.
Now, if you're ever looking to do this yourself, know that when you sell off your stuff, you will never, ever get for it what it's worth. So just be prepared that
But that's okay.
Yeah,
it's not heartbreaking. You got your use out of it.
Yep.
Now you sell it for less money than you spend. It's totally okay.
Yep. And we gave a lot away to charity, and our daughter and son-in-law were buying their first house, so we were able to give a few things to them. And again, you have to have thick skin because it's very easy for you to say, oh, here, take this, and they go, oh, we don't really like that. We don't want that. And you have to be willing to just go, that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
And donate it to Goodwill because it's not for everybody, and that's all right.
So finally, after a few months of, what was it?
Probably a year and a half.
I think it was like 9 months before we finally decided that we would retire and move out of the province of Ontario, Canada. That was when we decided, okay, it's time now. We can sell the house.
Yep.
Where to live now.
And we had reduced a whole bunch of stuff, so we said, okay.
Right.
We thought that we might just get an apartment in the area temporarily as we finished, because we were both working our full-time jobs still.
And intended to for another few months.
For a little while still.
Right.
So we thought, okay, we'll do that.
That's when we moved in with your mother.
Yeah, because
for the better part of a year.
My mom lived in the area and said that, you know, she had a big 4-bedroom house, was living alone, and
Yep.
needed
She could use some help
help
around the house, and she had the space.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win.
So we said, okay, we'll move in with her for 9 months or so and help her out, get her stuff fixed
Actually,
up
but
around
did we move in with her? No, she wasn't there.
It didn't work out that way because the week before we were supposed to move in with Mom,
Well, that's when she broke her leg.
she fell and broke her hip. And,
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was when she broke her femur.
No, she broke her hip, and she ended up in hospital.
Oh, yeah,
So-
7 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up moving into the house while she was in the hospital, so she wasn't even there while we moved in.
Which worked out well. Someone could keep an eye on the house.
Yeah, and her
Yep.
cats at the time, because
Sure.
she had her cats there.
Yep.
So it worked out even better in some ways for her because she didn't have the hassle of the stress of us moving all her stuff in. She was at the hospital and she knew that all her home
Yeah, all
and
her
her
places
cats
were safe.
were being taken care of by us. So that was kind of, it's not the way we wanted to do it, but it worked out okay.
Yeah.
And so we spent 9 months helping her out around her place, fixing things that were starting to get worn, painting, cleaning. And,
Yeah, little things.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're handy people.
Yep.
We do. That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So-
And I think that's when we built the big crate.
Yes.
Yep. We
Because
decided there were
then-
some things we didn't want to dump,
Back it
didn't
up.
want to get rid of.
Back it up a bit.
What do you mean?
Because before then, once we were at my mom's, we decided, okay, now we can put in our quit date. And so we've decided that April of 2019, was it?
Yep, I agree. That
April of
sounds right.
2019.
Yep.
We said, that's it. At the end of that month, we are done. We're quitting our jobs and we're moving on.
Right.
Now, we weren't quite ready to do the RVing immediately yet because,
Didn't even know if we really wanted to.
yeah, we were still a little bit hesitant.
Sure.
So we decided we would go out to Edmonton to live with our daughter and our grandson for a bit. Why?
Remember David, our grandson? He was only 4 years old at that time. And that was back in the years around that age where we would call him on occasion and he always said, Mom, who's this again? Or he'd say, what's your name again, please? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to hear that from your grandson.
And every time he came to visit, he'd be like, who are you?
Yeah.
And we were like, no. Our grandson does not know who we are. So
So we moved into his house.
we moved. He's
Yep.
going to know us now.
knew us there.
He's going to know us
Yep.
now.
Yep.
And so we moved in, and we were only going to stay there for probably about 9 months or a year.
Sure.
But then COVID hit. So our 1 year ended up turning into 2 years, and we homeschooled him and helped out with
Turned out
that.
to be a positive experience. It was all good.
It did.
Yeah.
But it kind of changed the way that things were going for us.
Yeah.
But just as COVID lockdown came in, we were at that point, we were saying, okay, we're going to buy a truck and we're going to buy an RV. So just as the lockdown happened, we
This
said,
was just lucky. We weren't
Yeah.
smart or anything. It just got lucky.
No.
What happened to the prices of trucks and RVs? They dropped.
yeah.
That was great.
People thought, oh no, everything's in lockdown. Nobody's going to buy RVs, and da-da. And so we got really lucky that we got a decent price on our RV and on our truck.
Yeah.
And-
Still here we are 3 years later with the same RV and truck. Very happy with them.
Yes, we
Yep.
we made a good choice. We had gone to a bunch of RV shows and checked out things, and we started to narrow down the things that we liked and the things that we didn't like about
Sure.
what we would want.
Made a
And-
list of things that the
Yeah.
RV should have, and then found an RV like that on the internet.
Yeah. And initially we thought we were going to go big, like a fifth wheel, because we're going to live in this, right? This is our home.
Yeah.
And then we started realizing that we like state parks, provincial parks, things like that. And those big RVs, there's only a few sites that accommodate those, but there's a lot that accommodate smaller ones. So we said, how small can we go and still manage to be okay with living in this? And here we are, 22-foot box.
Yeah. Pretty small for two people.
Yeah.
Even smaller when there are three of us when David, our grandson, lives with us.
That's for sure.
But it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying that truck and the trailer
Yes.
right during the midst of the lockdown.
Didn't even see the trailer.
Nope.
Only saw it online, and then the guy was, I think, 9 hours away in southern Saskatchewan where
Correct.
we bought it from. But he had a better price by like
a lot.
$3,000 or something
No,
than the
it was
local
even more
dealer.
than that. Yeah.
So it was worth the 9-hour drive because
Yeah.
we made a vacation out of returning with it. Was it 9? I think it was 9 hours to
9
go
hours
get the
to
thing.
get there each
Yeah,
way.
seems extreme, but it wasn't, because we made a whole vacation out of it, spent 2 weeks picking up the trailer.
And our grandson came down with us to do that first test trip, and we had a blast.
Sure.
And it's really
nice.
funny because for years we traveled to that when I guess we skipped something, because really when we left Ontario to go move into Alberta, this is where we built the box and we shipped out a bunch of stuff in this big pallet box that we had. But also we were going across in our travel trailer, our pop-up trailer.
Yeah, we have a small pop-up.
A small pop-up that had no heat. We just had an electric heater we plugged in inside, a little ceramic one.
Yeah, those were a couple of cool months.
Yeah, it was an old trailer, so it wasn't all the nice fancy bells and whistles of today's trailers.
Yeah, we even got
No
a ton of
bathroom.
snow in Denver that one time. That was all during that trip.
Yeah, we had to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to shovel off the top of the pop-up because there was so much snow on May 25th, I think it was, that we thought that the top of the trailer might collapse down, so we went out and shoveled.
The canvas was certainly sagging.
Yeah,
anyway.
it was heavy snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well,
But
that was nice.
It was our way of taking a 7-week trip across the country in a pop-up trailer because we thought this will be our way of kind of testing it out. Do we like it? Do we not? And by the time we got across, we were like, if we can survive in this cold weather, we saw floods, we had
And not just survive, but thrive.
Oh yeah, but
it was fun.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
We did. We really enjoyed it.
Oh, it wasn't just snow. Remember that I mentioned the snow accumulating in Denver, but where was it? Near Mount Rushmore, I think it was, when the winds were brutal.
Ooh, yeah.
And it grabbed the canopy and flipped the canopy right over to the point where it put a post through the roof of a... How does that happen? Who's so unlucky to see that?
Yeah, so we had to repair a hole on the fly. And
yeah, strangely enough, we were carrying our rivet gun.
Yeah.
That's unusual. Weren't carrying too many tools in that particular point in time. But
we had sold almost everything, so yeah.
But we had a rivet gun and we just patched it up. It's all good. Yep.
So there we go. We move across the country. We end up staying at our daughters in Edmonton.
Yep.
And
our grandson grew up a little bit from the age to about 4 till 6, which is nice.
Yep. Had fun with him. And then in 2021, June of 2021, after he was done school, we moved into our RV and we took our first big trip with our grandson too across the country from Edmonton, Alberta, all the way back down to Ontario.
Right.
And wow,
that was nice.
That
took
was
about
beautiful.
3 weeks doing that.
Yeah, we took our time, but it was nice. Yeah.
And we've been nomads ever since.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. That was the goal. Finally, even though there was a COVID delay, it did happen.
In the wintertime, when it's cold, we don't want to live in the cold weather in our trailers. So we've done Florida, we've done Arizona, we've done summer in BC, work camping. We've driven back and forth across from Ontario to BC and Edmonton 2 or 3 times now.
Yep.
And down south. And then last winter, we did something a little different. We put the RV in storage and flew down for 7 weeks, or 9 weeks it was. 9 weeks in the south of France.
9 weeks in France, which was nice.
Awesome as well.
Yeah. And with all that traveling, people ask us all the time, don't you just put a ton of kilometers on that truck? But no, we really don't.
No.
I think we only average about 15,000 kilometers a year on the truck. It's a lot less than many people do just day-to-day driving to work, because we don't have to drive to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that daily grind.
Right.
And some of the things that we found that we really like is that we found that for us, we don't just like to go someplace and spend a couple of days. We really enjoy when we go somewhere to spend a month or 2 in the same location.
That's really the highlight of it. Then you get to know locally, what do people do, little things like, where do they shop and what do the road signs look like in different places. All these things that you wouldn't know if you were just passing through.
Yeah, in Florida, we learned about the sugarcane crops.
Sure.
Who would have known? And in Arizona, we
and how awful those wild oranges were.
Yeah.
Oh, they were bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then going for a walk through the woods and all of a sudden being surprised by armadillo walking by.
Yeah.
Like little fun things, or seeing alligators in your backyard. And then in Arizona with the wild winds and the dust storms, the sandstorms. Never experienced a sandstorm before.
Heard about them. Found out we don't like being in one.
No. We also have made a pact that we try to stay away from tornadoes, hurricanes, typhoons, tsunamis, anything like that. Like, no, thank you.
There you go. So who knows what this winter's going to bring?
Yep.
We're in Ontario now because it's summertime, and we'll head south when the cold weather comes.
Yep.
Yep. But for this winter, starting in 2024, we'll have to wait and see. We don't have a plan yet.
No, we've got some tentative, but we're still up in the air. We're thinking maybe southern Texas for this winter. But at the moment, we're playing it by ear, and we're here in southern Ontario at our daughter and son-in-law's until January anyways. And
Yep.
we've had a lot of family things going on over this past bit, and we're going to take some time and get to know our other grandson, our newest one, who's 1 year old now. So.
And after that, we'll be back on the road.
Yep.
And of course, as always, we look forward to seeing you on the road.
On the road.